twins down low at the forward and center spot. For Georgia Southern on the flip side, for head coach Anita Howard, it'll be Rachel Johnson, Taryn Ward, Janae Love Hill manning the front court, and Maya Banks and Subasa Nisbet, the senior duo, manning down low. David, we've talked about it throughout the course of this season, being a focal point. How important is it to stay mentally ready whenever your number is called, as these seniors are for Georgia Southern?
It's very important. Subasa Nisbet been with this team for
in young athletes' life. We were talking to Coach Howard moments before this game, and she said every player on not only the Georgia Southern side, but Coastal Carolina side has been affected by breast cancer in some way, shape, or form. It's just how you're able to face off. Speaking of face off, we have the opening tip-off, and we are underway here inside Hanner. First possession will belong to Coastal Carolina. It'll be Aaron Freeman, the freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas, to get the opening jump. Blair Schultz, the junior from Morristown, Tennessee, up to the top of the key to Janae Camp. Now back over to Freeman. Shot clock down to 8 on the opposite possession for the Chanticleers. Her first shot rattles in and out, but rebounded, however, by Janine Camp, the 6'5 senior, able to force her will down low. Schultz for three, buries it off the jump.
And that starts with the offensive rebound by Camp, kicking it out to the best three-point shooter on Coastal Carolina, Blair Schultz.
Coastal Carolina coming into this game averaging right around 31% in the three-point distance. Subasa Nisbet with an answer-back three, unable to hit. That was third best in the conference. Georgia Southern on the flip side at 29%. That is fourth best in the Sun Belt. Ball almost stolen away from Camp, but possession will stay with Coastal Carolina down low. With about a minute elapsed here in the first quarter of play.
Jared, something you can expect to see a lot today is Blair Schultz. She leads the team in three-point makes with 29. She's somebody that likes to get their spots and knock down that opening jumper. We have a delay of game warning against Subasa Nisbet, the senior from Christchurch, New Zealand. You can't go across that line as soon as the official gives the opposing player the ball. So that is the reasoning behind that call. Skip pass sent over to just Jean. Down low to Schultz in the corner. Ball stolen away. Subasa Nisbet has it. And here comes the Eagles past half court. Janiah Love Hill at the logo. Pass off to Rachel Johnson. Back around, go the Eagles. Taryn Ward thought about shooting it. Ward is coming off a career-high performance, 32 points. We'll talk more about that with Emily Grace McCorder here in a little bit as this game moves on. Now in transition, here comes the Chanticleers. This is Schultz. Kick back out to Freeman. Driving in is stopped by the defense of Southern. She'll pull a three and unable to get the friendly bounce, but the rebound belongs to Coastal Carolina. They'll drive in again, and the defense of Southern right there. A lot of activity down low for Coastal Carolina right now. Again, you have to be able to box out if you're Southern.
3-point shot from Love Hill, unable to connect. And another rebound, this time from Janine Camp. For her so far, that is her third rebound in this game. Correction, her fourth rebound for Camp. And standing at 6'5", the senior from Portsmouth, Virginia, has a towering effect down low as a post presence. Love Hill able to get the ball into Nisbet. Kick pass out to Ward, up to Love Hill. Shot clock reset after the change in possession. And the Eagles trying to force it inside. Love Hill off the screen. This is Ward for three, shot it long.
And Coastal Carolina playing a 2-3 zone right now, trying to slow down this Eagles offense, and it's working.
Traveling going to be called against Blair Schultz. Took too many steps, and that'll be a turnover for Coastal Carolina. That is their their fourth turnover here this afternoon so far. Love Hill over to Johnson. Inside, this is Ward. Now into Subasa Nisbet, who uses the glass to her advantage.
Great sequence right there. Taryn Ward flashes to the elbow and then hits Subasa Nisbet that sealed her player in the post. Here come the Eagles again after the miss by the Chanticleers. Ward for three, off the back iron. Coastal again with the board. Blair Schultz coming into this game was averaging just about 2.5 assists per game. Look for her to get her teammates involved as an offensive foul is called against the Chanticleers.
Coastal Carolina, number 10, Janae.
And there's the senior Maya Banks making a play, forcing Camp into an ill-advised turnover there, getting the charge call.
Checking in.
First substitution for Asia Blunt coming into this game. Emily Grace McWhorter has more on Blunt's presence down low.
Thanks, Jared. Coastal Carolina's Asia Blount has been a powerhouse offensively for the Chanticleers. She's been described as a key returner, averaging 18.6 points per game, and is currently second in the Sun Belt in scoring. Blount has not started her last 2 games, but is an important factor in Coastal Carolina's offensive efforts. Back to you, Jared.
Thanks, E.G. Also, for Blunt, she has had 10-plus points in all but 2 games this year, a major focal point for this Coastal Carolina offense.
Very talented player, can score on all 3 levels on the court. She's somebody that you have to force into uncomfortable positions, because if you let her get to her spot, she's going to knock down the shots.
Right now, Coastal has had 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes. They're also 0 for their last 4 from the field. Ward driving in, she'll shoot it and hit. Taryn Ward with the spin-around jumper, able to take the lead for Georgia Southern. That's a 1-point advantage.
That's a pattern move. She loves to get in that post area and then spin off and go up with the right hand. She's very talented, and she scored 32 last game.
There's a steal for Love Hill, a wide-open layup, able to use the glass. Janae Love Hill coming into this game, averaged just about 1.5 steals per game, and another aggressive play from the junior, and a jump ball will be called. Possession will stay, however, with Coastal Carolina.
It's about activity. If you're wondering how a team forces 20 turnovers a game, this is how. They're playing hard. They're playing with hustle. Love Hill just goes straight down for that ball, and that's aggressive defense that is going to force teams into really bad positions. You saw right there.
5 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for Coastal Carolina. How do they look to clean up this in the opening quarter?
You're seeing they're trapping every time the ball's in the corner. You have to be able to get to your spots. Maybe have somebody flash through the middle of the floor, because right now Georgia Southern is dictating where they go on offense. So you have to be able to get it in the post, get it in the middle of the court.
10-second violation called against Coastal Carolina. Shot up and good. Good use and touch from Taryn Ward down low yet again. A 8-3 lead for Georgia Southern here in the halfway point of the first quarter. Eagles have made 3 of their last 3 shots. Coastal, on the other hand, 0 for their last 4. Over to Schultz at the extended elbow. Some off-ball fouling called down low. It'll be charged against Maya Banks for Georgia Southern. Banks, however, has been making her presence known down low. The 6'4" grad student has a big post presence, but we'll talk more about that after the break. 8-3, the score here inside Hanner. Don't go anywhere. Here, Georgia Southern and Coastal Carolina. Last time out for Georgia Southern, they played App State, a game that went to overtime. For that, we head down to Emily Grace McWhorter, who's courtside.
Thanks, Jared. Like you said, Georgia Southern had an exciting game on Thursday against one of their rivals, App State. It went into overtime, and the Eagles pulled it out 82-80. Taryn Ward stole an inbound pass to give Simone James the go-ahead basket for the tiebreaker with 4.6 seconds left. Taryn Ward had a career high with 32 points and was 1 rebound shy of her 5th straight double-double. Head coach for the Eagles, Anita Howard, said, you know, it was a lot to ask. She put us on her back, and if she scores 32 this afternoon, awesome, but we don't harp on that. She said Taryn is an amazing player for their team, and she wants to see her go out and have a night tonight. Back to you, Jared.
Thanks, Emily Grace. Now in the response, here comes Georgia Southern and the aforementioned Ward trying to drive in. She's fouled, and she'll go to the line and shoot 2 free throws.
That's her spot. That's where she wants to get on the court. Forces a foul right there. You can't let her get it too deep in the paint.
And going back to the piece that Emily Grace McWhorter just mentioned, how important is it to have a game in overtime against your conference rival go your way?
It's very important. You learn discipline and you learn how to play that late. A lot of times when you lose, and let's look at this replay first though. Taryn Ward, if you let her get that deep in the paint or close to the paint, she's going to put up a shot. If she doesn't make it, she's probably going to get fouled. But going back to your question, Jared, it's very important because you learn how to play close games, and when you lose, a lot of that isn't retained, but when you win, you remember it. And I think that's the key here. When they played App State, there was a lot of possessions in that game where they had to hit some really difficult shots, and now coming into it, they know how to do that.
Ball almost stolen away off the hands of Rachel Johnson. Coastal Carolina will keep possession, however. Eagles right now on a 10-0 run over the last 3 minutes. Coastal has not scored in almost 5. See if they can do that here. Defense of Georgia Southern able to swarm them down low, and it will be Eagles ball following another turnover, make that 8 turnovers in the last 5.5 minutes.
And they're on course to be over 20 turnovers. This Eagles team is going to keep pressuring you. When they're on defense, you have to take care of the ball.
Now the ball inside, working out is Ward. Unable to get the friendly roll, however, and Coastal right there to clean it up. Ward will pick up her first foul as she trips up Janae.
Number 3, Taryn Ward, her first, team
after
second.
trying to box her out, I guess, to the most of her ability.
Well, you see she's trying to just put a little pressure on Camp, but it's not needed right there. She doesn't really extend her arms, but it's enough to trip Camp up and get the foul.
It's just Kayla Buggs who missed the shot, but it will still be Coastal possession. Coming in for the Eagles will be Nia Burns. Burns coming into this game second on the Eagles team with 12.6 points per game. She's been able to make an impact over the last couple games this season. Last time out at 18 points and 7 rebounds. Kalea Buggs trying to drive in. She shoots it with the right hand and misses it. Rebounded by Banks. And the drought continues for Coastal Carolina. Johnson up to Banks. Off the screen, three-pointer off the back iron. Rebounded by Blunt. Lost it. Eagles will have it down in the paint. A battle for it down low, and a jump ball will be called yet again, but the Eagles will keep possession.
We're seeing on a lot of these, it's just active hands by Georgia Southern. Right there, a good defensive play by Coastal Carolina, but Georgia Southern was just able to keep fighting and get that turnover.
With 16 seconds on the shot clock, it'll be Georgia Southern ball down low. We'll see some substitutions coming in with Lydia Freeman and Taya Gibson coming in for the Eagles. Lydia Freeman, the sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, and Gibson, the junior from Rome, Georgia. Also, Coastal will make a substitution with Savannah Dews, the freshman from Tucson, Arizona, making her way onto the court for the first time. Back out to Johnson. She'll launch and use the glass to finish.
A little senior day touch right there by Johnson. Uses the backboard to her advantage, and that's a great sign if you're Georgia Southern to see a three-pointer go your way.
First bucket for Johnson. 13-3 lead for the Eagles here on their senior day. Out of bounds, and Southern will take possession again. A 13-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Late substitution almost into her application. Tyra Brown was on her way over to check into the game in release for Blair Schultz. And after a little bit of deliberation, the substitution will count, along with Deasia Richardson, the junior from Kernersville, North Carolina, coming into the game. 7 turnovers in the last 9 minutes for Coastal Carolina, and they have not scored in just about that same amount of time. A look at Jada Williams in her 9th season at the helm for Coastal Carolina. She's had a lot of success with this program. Currently 41-44 in Sun Belt play. since her time. Freeman with a deep two, shot it off the side. Gibson able to get the rebound and score.
Great activity by Taya Gibson, averages 4.5 rebounds a game. Right there, she was relentless in the offensive boards, and Coastal Carolina has to do a better job boxing out because they're having good defensive possessions, but not finishing the drill.
Brown off the dribble will send it back up to Newsome. Jordan Newsome now inside the Blunt. She'll shoot, but misses it. Freeman with the board. In transition, here comes Rachel Johnson. Kick pass over to the corner. Three-pointer from Gibson is good. Correction, Maya Burns with a tray ball. Timeout called by Coastal Carolina. 18-3 lead for Georgia Southern right now. What's the conversation in the Georgia Southern huddle?
I think it's praising your players on how well you've played. Going to that play right there, Rachel Johnson collapses the defense by driving to her.
Down big early in the first.
Well, I talked about it in the open. You can't turn the ball over. And I think right now, if you're Coastal Carolina, you're telling yourselves, hey, we have to protect the ball. We're down by 15. And it can get a lot uglier if you keep turning the ball over to a team in Georgia Southern that will not stop pressuring.
8 points off of turnovers for Georgia Southern, and turnovers have been a big factor so far. 7-0, the difference in that stat category. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter of play. Jared Dank alongside David Holvey courtside, along with Emily Grace McCorder on our sideline. Scrabble for the ball, Blunt able to corral it and still be called for traveling. Has the handoff pass to Richardson, draws the violation.
Richardson, the 5'9" guard right there. She's shifty and can move. But right there, you saw she tried to do a step through, but in the process of that, took one too many.
8th turnover for Coastal Carolina here in the quarter. Freeman double teamed. Drops the pass off to Ward, and Ward draws the offensive foul. The third foul charged against Georgia Southern here in the quarter.
That's a big foul, too, because Taryn Ward now has 2 fouls in the game, and you're only in the first quarter. You see they're taking her out now, and that's a good job by Richardson, beating her to the spot, allowing herself to get in position to let Taryn Ward drive into her for that charge.
90 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. An 18-3 lead for the Eagles. See if they can capitalize on a 2-on-1. Gibson uses the glass again. Taya Gibson with her first points. Correction, her second bucket. She now has 4.
And Gibson, kind of a quiet scorer, but she does average 7 points on the season. She's somebody that can play great defense and also score inside.
Down low, Blunt was fouled against Rachel Johnson, who got a little bit too handsy down low, drawing the 4th foul for the Eagles with about a minute to go. Both teams shooting in the 20s from three-point land. Field goal percentage has been going the Eagles' way, 47% to 10% from the field. A look at Gus, the mascot for Georgia Southern, also wearing pink on this pink out day inside Hanner Fieldhouse. Three-point shot is short. It was pulled there by Richardson, and the Eagles will get back into offensive transition. Stop and start. Burns from 3 will make it.
Maya Burns, she has such a pure stroke from outside the three-point line. Great offense again by the Eagles, and now a turnover.
Turnover, as you mentioned just a second ago. Johnson tried to drive in herself. Instead, it'll be a change in possession with 31.9 to go.
And this is why I said in the open, Jared, if you're Coastal, you have to control the tempo of this game, because when you get down by 20, now you have to speed up, and now you have to force shots.
Get this, 23 unanswered points by Georgia Southern to start the game, as another shot rattles in and out, and a foul will be called against Coastal's Aaron Freeman.
And I think right now, Coastal Carolina is a little flustered. You got to slow down and get yourself a good shot. It might not go in, but slow this game down and just get something going. Get a basket inside, get a three-pointer, but you have to get a shot.
Shot clock down to 13. The clock has been turned off. Eagles trying to get the last point here in the quarter. Love Hill driving in. Kick pass is almost stolen away. Gibson will shoot it at the buzzer and shot it long. That'll do it for one.
Has been here all 4 years, been somebody that's seen the ups and downs of this program, and Rachel Johnson and Maya Banks have played such crucial roles here this season, both on defense and offense, that she loves the production, and she talks about how much they have meant to this program and how much they contribute, not only on the court, but also just as a team.
Start of the second quarter underway. Eagles ended the quarter on a 23-0 run. We'll see how Coastal Carolina can respond back. Driving in is Freeman, and she is fouled. Correction, it'll be called for traveling. And another turnover to start the quarter for Coastal.
And it's the little things on defense. You might not notice it, but right there, Taya Gibson guarding the player on the corner, stunts on the drive, confusing the driver, forcing a turnover. It's the little things on defense that you're seeing, and it's why the Eagles are so talented.
Turnover for Georgia Southern. For correction, the Eagles will keep possession of it. Ball was almost stolen away. Shot clock at 26, considering there was no change in possession. Rachel Johnson off the off-ball screen from Freeman. Love Hill trying to pass it into Freeman. Freeman's fader will draw a foul. Freeman's first trip to the free throw line.
And Love Hill had the chance to shoot it there, but instead saw 6'5" Lydia Freeman in the post, making a good read and getting it to her instead. So that's, again, great coaching. You're seeing a lot of little things right now that Coach Howard has instilled into her players, and it's paying off here late in the season.
Lydia Freeman, the 6'5" sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, on the free throw line this season, 71% from the charity stripe. First one, however, off the mark.
And Freeman catches it, and she's so tall. You see it's problems there for Camp, and she hacks her on the wrist as she goes up.
Second free throw is good. A 1-for-2 trip to the line. Extends the lead now to 21 points. Bugs. Guarded there by Simone James, the sophomore from San Diego, California. Out now to Blunt. Her three connects. And much needed three-pointer for Coastal Carolina as Blunt pulls the trigger and hits. Burns, double teamed by the Chanticleers, driving into Freeman. Freeman's turnaround jumper is good. Lydia Freeman making the most of her minutes. 3 points here after the quick substitution. An answer back three off the back iron, collected by Burns. Back and forth we go here to start the second quarter of play. A kickback pass to Burns. Off the screen, deep two from Holmes, or three rather, and Holmes can't hit.
And they call her Logo Days. She takes some really deep threes. Wasn't able to hit that one, but she's very talented outside.
A pass that was supposed to go inside from Brown to the post, down low to Blunt off the mark. Under a minute and a half elapsed off the clock here in quarter number two. A 20-point lead for Georgia Southern. Holmes over to James, back up to Holmes. Shot clock down to 8, down to 7. Eagles gonna need to get a shot off here. Clock down to 3, it'll be James into Freeman at the buzzer, can't hit, and a battle for the board goes to Coastal. Long outlet pass on the mark to Brown, driving in and drawing the foul are the Eagles. This will be Richardson's first trip to the line.
And this is the point in the game. You're up by 20 if you're the Eagles. You can't fall asleep because the Chanticleers are going to keep playing, and they're going to look for their shots. They're starting to pick up the pace, and you're seeing she wasn't able to get the layup, but Gibson on the way down hacks her on the arm and wrist. So that's a good job to maybe get some points right here.
Richardson, last time out at 3 minutes played, 1 rebound on the year. She's a 69% free throw shooter. First free throw, however, off the mark. Both teams coming into this game shooting from the free throw line 70.4% for the Chanticleers. That is 5th best in the conference. And for Georgia Southern, 67%. That is 10th best in the SBC. Offensive foul going to be charged against Deja Holmes, able to get the extension of the elbow. And Richardson is pumped, trying to get the Chanticleers back in this game.
And you can't sit back again. Richardson beating her to the spot. This is the second time that Richardson has drawn a charge. She got animated after the play, and she's trying to provide a spark for her team.
Bugs guarded by James. Over to the wing, it's Richardson. Off the screen, pulls from the free throw line and gets the friendly bounce.
Richardson.
Bounce pass, down low, inside, and that pass was intended for Banks, but some communication in the post department. It'll still be Georgia Southern ball.
And Ariel Vadrell-Balinga actually came over on the help side to not allow Banks to get that in the post. So that's good defense. And the Chanticleers now, you're down by 17, but you're starting to see some signs of life, playing better defense, playing better offense.
Vadrell-Balinga, the freshman from Riverdale, Georgia, as a three-pointer by the Eagles is fired and missed. Now in transition, this is Brown. Brown has to stop and start inside the three-point line. She'll shoot and miss. Rebounded, however, by the Chanticleers. Blunt still trying to work out. The defense of Banks comes in and cleans up. Some physicality starting to build down low between Banks and Blunt. 6'4" versus 5'11", and both upperclassmen trying to battle for the ball.
And this is senior day here. Maya Banks showing fight. Didn't like it. She felt that she was hacked a few times right there.
Ball was kicked off the foot of Bugs. Eagles will keep possession. And David, we've seen Coach Howard go through multiple lineups. As you see a look at Coach Williams, the height really has to be in your favor going against this Georgia Southern team whenever you have to think about playing down low in the post. Would you say so?
I think so. We do know that the Eagles have Lydia Freeman and Maya Banks, two players that are both 6'4" plus. So the Eagles do have depth, but we haven't seen that jumbo lineup yet.
Speaking of Banks, airballed the shot from the free throw line, a turnover for Georgia Southern. That is their second. Technically, it's a shot, not a turnover, but still it's an empty possession. Now here's Bugs. Off to Vadrell-Balinga, who misses it. Love Hill with the rebound, and she'll take it herself. 2-on-1 inside. Good use of the glass by Banks, who again scores. Banks, good use of the glass. And now she'll go back on defense. 6:11 to go here in the second quarter of play. 28-9 to score here inside Hanner Fieldhouse. Off the screen from Vadrell-Balinga. Shot for Chanticleers is missed. Rebounded by Vadrell-Balinga. She'll go up and score. Physicality starting to pick up after that bucket. Love Hill in transition. Corner three for Southern, off the back and rebounded and put back up by Eden Johnson. She has had herself a quick 2 minutes here in the open.
And that's a great way to follow up after the shot. But I want to go back to Coastal Carolina. Georgia Southern is going under every screen, allowing for three-point shots, but it's up to the Chanticleers to make those shots. So right now, Coach Howard is allowing for those three-pointers.
Traveling violation called against the Chanticleers. Their 13th turnover in this half. Love Hill finds Johnson. Over to the wing to Johnson. Inside, it's Banks. Double teamed by the Chanticleers and turnover for Southern. Here's Brown on the kickback. This is Richardson. Now inside, they go to Camp. Camp able to keep her pivot foot, but she's called for 3 seconds in the key.
Georgia Southern does not want to allow anything in the paint. Again, you're seeing they're allowing for shots on the perimeter, but not inside.
That will take us to a media timeout on the floor. 30-5 straight, dating all the way back to 2017-2018. But Georgia Southern is 3-2 all time against the Chanticleers here in Statesboro. David, the last time these two teams faced off was up at home for Coastal Carolina. Do you think that game is still on the minds of these Eagle players?
Most definitely. Only lost by 3. Felt like they had a chance to win that game, and you're seeing it right now. They came out aggressive, and I do think it's still on their minds.
After the media timeout here in the second quarter, a foul called against Aaron Freeman. The center for the Chanticleers from Little Rock, Arkansas. The substitution that we made as she comes out. Replaced by Jordan Newsome. Past the halfway point here in the second quarter of play. Holmes out to Johnson. Johnson able to use the Euro step and gets the toilet bowl shot to drop.
And that all started by a flare screen. Eden Johnson passes and then cuts away, has a screener there for her, doesn't take the shot, instead drives. So a lot of just very fluid motion on offense right now for the Eagles.
2 free throws will be coming as an award for the foul against Maya Burns. Coach Howard on the sideline saying, hey, let's talk this over here to Lydia Freeman. And for Freeman, she has come in and been able to step up. We talked to Coach Howard about Freeman's impact down low as a post player against one of the taller teams in the Sun Belt Conference in Coastal.
And she's somebody they really see a bright future with. She's only a sophomore, and somebody with her size at 6'5" can be very good for them in the post. And we're seeing her really develop a mid-range game as well. So she's somebody that's really talented and can be very useful for this team.
Newsome on the first free throw, able to make it. Second one is also good. She's a 93% free throw shooter on the season. Substitution for Coastal as Deasia Richardson will come back in. Back underway. Chanticleer showing a press. Johnson, along with Burns, able to break it and get past half court. Three-pointer, short. Rebounded, however, by Southern. That's Johnson down low. Freeman still trying to work out and able to finish. We talked about it just a minute ago. Freeman's presence down low, able to show it to her advantage. 5 points for Freeman in the first half.
And that's the maturation by Freeman. Doesn't get the first shot to go her way, but follows it up and gets another offensive rebound.
Newsome able to answer back. Now there's a three-pointer for the Eagles. That's off the back iron. And last touch by Rachel Johnson for Georgia Southern. Coastal will take possession.
Coastal Carolina.
And Coastal is doing a full-court press right now. They're trying to trap as soon as that ball gets to the half-court line. But right now, Georgia Southern's picking it apart. As soon as they get trapped, they're kicking it out to the corner.
Double screen, able to free a cutting across shot that's missed there by just Jean. The foul is going to be called off the ball, I believe. For correction, it'll just be a turnover. Tyra Brown finding Richardson. Around the horn go the Chanticleers. This is Newsome driving in and drawing a foul.
Number 10,
Maya Burns, the guilty player for Georgia Southern. We've seen the fouls start to pick up a little bit more as Coastal Carolina finds himself in the bonus following one more foul. We've seen this time and time again, David, from both teams in the Sun Belt Conference. Do you see physicality starting to pick up in the second quarter, or does it so just kind of keep going in the second half?
I think we've seen it in the second quarter, and it's going to keep going. This is Sun Belt play late in the season. Georgia Southern, you have 4 away games after this. Coastal Carolina, you have a couple games after this. So both teams want to win this game to give themselves kind of a jump start that very last quarter of the season.
Both teams' records separated between one game. Coastal coming into this a 13-7 record. Georgia Southern 14-7. Nearing under 3 minutes to go till halftime. This is Burns. Had to pick up her dribble and sends it to Holmes. Holmes trying to find one of her teammates. Ball's almost stolen away by Richardson. Off of the leg of an Eagle, and possession will go to Coastal. And a little bit slow to get up is Deja Holmes. Looked like she might have gotten hit in the head as a result of the play.
And we'll see right here, Holmes does get hit in the head. It appears by that right shoulder. And that's definitely going to hurt. We hope that she's okay. Walking it off right now. But definitely gets hit, it looked like, with that right shoulder.
Holmes, the sophomore from Fresno, California, averaging 6.1 points per game. One of the unsung leaders of this team. Coach Howard calls her just able to put her input in wherever it's needed. Now on an odd man rush, here's Richardson. Kick back out to Brown. Brown off the screen from Camp. Still having possession, trying to find Camp down low. Finds a cutting Richardson, however. And instead, it'll be a traveling violation against Coastal. Turnover starting to build even more here. 16 first half turnovers for Coastal.
And that's what Georgia Southern does. That's what they pride themselves on, forcing turnovers. That's the second or third time Richardson specifically has gotten called for a travel.
Now a good bounce pass, unable to finish, but able to stay with its Ward. She can't finish, and a foul down low will go against Coastal. That's their fourth here in the second.
On Coastal, number 20, Janae Camp. Her first, team fourth.
For Camp, that is her first foul, the fourth team foul for the Chanticleers.
And Rachel Johnson's kicking herself there. She really wanted that layup. It was a nice pass as she was flashing down, but she does get a chance to hit two right here.
Rachel Johnson.
And Taryn Ward was able to get the offensive rebound, put it up, and then Rachel Johnson follows, getting fouled on the putback attempt.
Johnson on the season sitting right at 60% from the charity stripe, unable to make the second one, but it'll stay Eagles basketball. Fresh 20 on the shot clock. Short corner shot is going to be called for a foul. Burns again will go to the line.
Coastal foul, number 5.
And just an ill-advised foul there. Burns starts at the corner, only takes 2 steps to get a shot off, and you have to just let her shoot that. Put a hand in the face. She can't come down on that arm or elbow.
5 total fouls for the Chants. So for the remaining 2:15, the Eagles will be in the bonus. Maya Burns on the year, a 76% free throw shooter. The junior from North Augusta, South Carolina. Goes 2 for 2. That extends the lead for Southern. It's now a 22-point lead. Answer back 3 short. And Coastal again will keep possession. Oh, looks like a miscue down low there, David, by Georgia Southern in the post department.
Yeah, and it started with an open 3. Again, Georgia Southern is living with that. Coastal Carolina only 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. You have to start hitting some threes.
Coastal 2 for 11 from distance. 2-pointer made there, however. As we near under 2 minutes to go in this second half. Or second quarter, I beg your pardon. Down low, Ward draws the foul, and again, the Eagles will go to the line.
And that's just good offense. Johnson drives to the left, understanding Taryn Ward is trying to seal her player off in the post. Ward catches it, and as soon as she does, she spins off, having a little drop step with her left leg. Right now, And I just want to touch on this. I think Coach Howard has really coached this team so well because it's been a lot of the intricate details, a lot of the small things that the Eagles have done in this game to put themselves ahead.
Currently, there is a stoppage in play with the net being caught on the back of the rim. I don't know if our camera crews can get a shot of that, but that's quickly been resolved. Good job there by the Hanner maintenance crew to get that situated. And now we're back underway. A little jump up just to fix it. I mean, one of us could have probably gone out there. I'm 6'9". You're how tall again?
I'm about 6'1". I think I could have got it.
You could have gotten up there, too. First free throw good from Ward, extending the lead back to 21. Second free throw, however, off the mark, and a chance for Coastal to try and cut into this deficit. Newsom trying to pass it into Blunt. Blunt able to get it, and she'll go in with a head of steam. Trying to work out. The up and under shot is missed. Gathered by Ward. 2-on-1 break. Pump fake there from Burns. Trying to drive in, and she'll draw a foul down low. We've seen physicality continue to build here, David. You were about to say something before I cut you off.
And again, that's a nice move by Burns. Burns drives to her right, was then about to do a little turn fade away off of the spin. And as she was doing that, Coach Carolina went with a double team. So right now, Carolina, they don't have much of an answer because the Eagles are moving the ball so well.
First shot is good. And you mentioned the turnaround shot, what she was about to go into, but ran into a member of the Chants right there.
And she did right there. She spins off, and Jordan Newsom actually got her as she was about to go up for that shot.
Burns with that bucket puts her over the double-digit mark. She now has 10 and is 4 for 4 from the free throw line.
Legal foul, number 1, Rachel Johnson, her second.
Second foul called against Rachel Johnson, the 5th foul for the Eagles. They will now take the Chanticleers into the free throw line for the remaining minute and 22 seconds. Newsom, as I mentioned earlier, one of the best free throw shooters on this Chanticleers team, 93% from the charity stripe. She's made all 3 to this point. That time she misses, however. Rebounded by Coastal. Shot is up by Blunt and drops. Asia Blunt still trying to be a force here with the Chants down by 20. Constance Thomas, the sophomore from Plant City, Florida. Kickback pass out was stolen away. Eagles able to get it back with under a minute to play here in the second quarter of action. Shot clock down to 9, almost a turnover, and it will stay Georgia Southern ball with 7 on the clock.
Good defense by the Chanticleers there. They're playing rowdy, they're playing rough. Down by 20, but you're still seeing some effort and energy on the defensive end.
Eagles are going to have to hurry. 4 on the clock, down to 3. Pass inside is an errant one, and it'll be Coastal ball.
That was about to be a highlight play because Rachel Johnson goes with the backdoor cut, and Constance Thomas actually does a no-look pass, but just a little too high for Johnson.
Under 35 to go, and we'll have an off-ball foul called on the play. Our officials for today, Kylie Galloway, Talisa Green, and Ryan Durham, trying to keep the peace here in a Sun Belt Conference clash. 2 shots will be awarded off of the off-ball foul to Asia Blunt. And Blunt, as a junior, was selected as an all-Sun Belt third-team player. She's also second in the Sun Belt, as Emily Grace McCorder mentioned earlier in this game. 4th in the Sun Belt Conference in rebounding, too. So the 5'11 senior using the most of her frame. Second free throw is good for the native of Northampton, PA. 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Freeman missing the first shot. Eagles trying to get an offensive rebound, instead gathered up by Schultz. Schultz driving in with the right hand, trying to stop. Kickback pass out to Blunt. Around the horn go the shots and clears with 6 on the clock. That wasn't a shot as the clock downs to 2. 1, and no shot fired by
the two bigs of Coastal Carolina and Janae and Janine Camp to get some buckets inside.
You mentioned trying to get the post presence involved. Overall field goal percentage for Georgia Southern as they get the first possession, 38%, and a lot of it has come off of second chance points. We're back underway here in the third quarter. Subasa Nisbet will start us off. A deep 2 is short to the side of the rim, and it will stay. Correction, now it'll be flipped. Coastal Carolina will take the possession after a loose ball scrum. With transition, Justin Jean lost it as well. Now it's taken up by Camp. Driving in, shot was blocked away. Johnson, give and go between her and Banks. This is Love Hill driving in, and she draws an early foul here in the third.
Very sloppy 30 seconds right there. Back and forth, ball was on the ground, players fighting for it, but that is a good sign if you're Georgia Southern, getting on the floor and going for those loose balls.
It'll be Love Hill to inbound. Up to Johnson, over to Nisbet. Passing inside to Banks. Oh, battle of the bigs down low, 6'4" versus 6'5", and Camp pinned it. The shot didn't even leave Banks' hand. And Banks a little bit slow to get up after. It looked like she caught an elbow from Camp.
Janine Camp tried to stay upright there. And Banks is going for the ball and gets hit with that right elbow in the process of it. So not a dirty play by Camp, just an unfortunate sequence.
The officials will look at it. As of
about it in the open, being able to weather the storm, being able to keep your composure right there, let her emotions get the best of her, and now the Eagles getting 2 free throws, and you just hate to see that.
First free throw by Ward is good. And you mentioned letting emotion get the better of you. Sun Belt Conference play, we've seen it throughout the entirety of this season, always seems to bring out the most intense of rivalries. For Coastal and Georgia Southern, it's been a rivalry since 1995 that both of these teams have faced off, as Ward able to make the free throw. She is now 6 of 8 on the afternoon, extending the lead now 52-29. But going back to the point I'm mentioning earlier, you have 2 teams that butt heads with each other. They don't like each other, and putting it on display.
And again, this is Sun Belt play. You expect a lot of chippiness and aggression, but you have to be able to keep your emotions in check. And right there, you just saw her emotions got the best of her and made a mistake.
Freeman's floater is missed. Rebounded by Camp. She'll go up and draw a foul. The second foul charge to Georgia Southern here in the third quarter play.
Camp staying relentless on the offensive glass. You're down by 23, but you want to see your team keep fighting, keep having some sense of hope, because we know that this Coastal Carolina team is a good team that can really get going once they make some shots.
Substitutions will be made for the Eagles. Subasa Nisbet coming out. Taya Gibson coming in.
Gibson.
First free throw put in by Camp. A look at the foul, though.
Bassa comes over right there. Camp goes up, and she gets hacked on the arm. Good job by Camp, again, to stay on that offensive glass.
Camp able to make both free throws now. 3 for 5 from the line today. Correction, 3 for 4 on the day. Love Hill past the free throw, or the half-court line, I beg your pardon. And a turnover, Coastal getting possession, and they're starting to find the momentum gathering in their favor after the ejection by Camp.
Well, the Chanticleers come out with a full court press. They're going to keep fighting, and if you're Georgia Southern, again, you have to stay aggressive. You can't let this team start to sink in and get control of this game.
Three-point shot is good. Asia Blunt from distance.
Blunt can do that. She's very good at shooting that ball from the perimeter, just as much as she's good inside and the mid-range.
After the three-point shot, here's an answer back three, connecting. Taryn Ward. We have threes flying in Hanner.
And that's a big-time shot. You felt Coastal Carolina start to get some momentum, and Taryn Ward goes in the corner and knocks down a big-time jumper.
Maya Banks will be called with a foul down low. For Banks, that is her third foul here this afternoon. Correction, her second foul this afternoon.
And Jared, going back to that three-pointer Ward just hit, this is something we saw on Thursday as well. She hit so many big-time shots, and it felt like a big shot right there as Coastal Carolina started to sink in and get some momentum.
Kick back pass to Newsome. She'll make the floater. And back and forth we go here with trading of buckets. Shots again going into that full court press. It's Love Hill at the top of the key. Kicks back over to Ward. Ward now over to Love Hill. Into the corner. Ward again into Banks inside. Ooh, the give and go, and Gibson using the glass.
Just beautiful awareness, understanding the zone defense that they're running. Gibson flashes up to the high post. Or excuse me, Banks flashes up to the high post, and Gibson is down the low post for the easy layup.
Gibson with a 2-on-1, and Love Hill shot it. Gibson again able to gather the rebound and score.
Gibson, not somebody that stuffs the stat sheet, but her energy really brings life to this team.
Newsome, guarded by Burns. Kick pass to Freeman. Freeman trying to drive in. Back over to the corner to Newsome. 8 on the shot clock. Newsome's floater from the inside arc connects.
The offense starting to get going. Newsome drives right there inside the paint, gets a nice little floater, but now you have to play defense and get a stop.
Love Hill's floater on the other side made.
Georgia Southern scoring at will right now. This team loves to play fast, and you're seeing it right now. That pressure is not bothering them because they're so used to running up and down the court.
Both teams scoring at will. Coastal has made 3 of their last 3 shots. That's the first miss in the first 4 shots. Banks able to grab the rebound, and she'll push it up in transition to Ward. Her three's got it! Taryn Ward making a three-pointer. And a timeout will be called by Coach Williams. We'll take one with them, 64-38 here in the third.
Pink bedazzled heels on the sideline, but it's something that Anita Howard does well, and she does often. Back to you, JJ.
Yeah, you mentioned Emily Grace, the 90s night theme. Her and her other coaching staff, salt and pepper as a theme with the overtime win against App State here on Thursday night. We're back underway here with the third quarter. 3 minutes and change to go. 64-38, the score.
Going back to that coaching staff, I mean, that is a coaching staff that can pull off some things that not many people can. From head coach to assistant coaches, they consistently provide the drip.
One with a circus-type shot to be able to get it to fall. Coastal now over the 40-point mark here in this game. Inside to Gibson. She'll use the glass again. We've seen her score at will down low. She has 10 points here this afternoon.
Again, Gibson, right place at the right time.
Turnover and a chance for the Eagles. It's an even man rush. Ball was poked away, however, and now taken up by Vandrell Belinga. This is Just Jean. Back over to Just Jean from the deep short corner. Missed it. Rebounded by the Chanticleers after a little bit of deliberation. Just Jean with a fresh shot clock over to Newsom. Corner three made by the freshman.
Good kick out to the corner there. They skipped sides of the floor. Newsom was able to rise up and hit a nice three-pointer.
Ball almost stolen away from Love Hill. She's able to keep her composure. Has to do a do-si-do, and now she'll send it over to Ward. Ward thought about shooting it. Instead, the Eagles will reset with 8 on the clock. Gibson will come up, setting the screen for Love Hill. Back out to the corner. Burns for 3, missed it, and the rebound stays with Southern. Instead, it'll be called out of bounds and a turnover. Gibson stepped on the line.
Number 2.
Again, though, that's good energy and effort by Gibson. She stepped on the line, but she's consistently providing that effort, being in the right place.
Gibson on the afternoon, 4 rebounds, or correction, 3 rebounds. Just trying to do her part for this Eagles team. Foul will be called on the up motion. Just Jean able to draw it.
Was on Taya Gibson.
Taya Gibson, the guilty player for Southern. That's her second foul on the afternoon. 4 fouls apiece for both teams.
Team 4.
Gibson got her arm caught in between Ariel. Belinga there wasn't able to get it loose, and because of that, got called for the foul.
First free throw made by Just Jean. This is her second trip to the line. And she makes it. Both free throws trying to make a deficit disappear. Love Hill, double teams. She'll be able to kick it back out to Burns, and Burns will be called for traveling.
Something we haven't touched on that's very important to note is Coastal Carolina in their last game was 30 for 36 at the free throw line. Something we haven't seen today, but they were able to get to the line at will. And it's a testament to this Eagles defense not fouling as much and just great discipline.
You mentioned discipline and resiliency for Coastal Carolina. That win up in Atlanta was their first Sun Belt road win since February 22nd back in 2020 at Georgia State. Just trying to see how this Coastal Carolina team could play better on the road, trying to build as tournament time rolls here in a couple weeks.
And they're a good team. They're down by 21 right now, but I'm here to tell you they're going to be a tough team to play in the Sun Belt tournament because they're well coached and they have players that know how to play the game.
First free throw missed by Buggs. Buggs not in the scoring chart yet, but the shot there on the second try is good. Under a minute to play here in the third quarter. Love Hill with some steam, able to elude the defense of every shot to clear, passing it into Gibson. The dump off to Freeman and the scores. Some bang, bang, bang plays, and the Eagles able to extend on their lead.
That's exactly right. Just beautiful sequence of basketball. Gibson realized she wasn't able to put a shot up, so just dumps it to Lydia Freeman for the easier layup.
Just Jean again will go to the line after the foul from Freeman. We've seen back and forth action here as the shot clock has now been turned off as the third quarter wraps up to a close. 22-point lead for Georgia Southern. And it all started, David, after a 23-3 first quarter performance for Georgia Southern. We haven't seen that very much from the Georgia Southern team in a very long time, to have a dominant first quarter and have that carry on.
And that's very true. This team has really struggled in the first quarter, actually, getting behind in games against Georgia State and other teams. So to see them come out firing on all cylinders today is a good sign for their 4 away games they're about to do.
Just Jean, 4 for 4 from the line today for the Chanticleers. Their shots as a whole, 14 of 18 from the charity stripe. Inbound pass with 30 seconds to go here in the third. Freeman able to find Love Hill. Shot clock down to 20. So is the play clock as it has been turned off. Freeman, skip pass, back up to Love Hill. Down to 10 on the clock. Over to Gibson. Back to Love Hill. Clock down to 3, and an off-ball offensive foul will be charged to Lydia Freeman.
Offensive foul, Georgia Southern, number 55.
Freeman tried to free up Deja Holmes right there, but was moving while she was trying to set that screen.
Taking in for Coastal, 21, Asia Blunt.
Asia Blunt will come back in for the waning moments of this third quarter. She'll get it. Shot at the buzzer, off the iron. That'll do it for
to potentially go on a 3-game win streak, assuming they lose here today, going into tournament play. So that's very important. And also, you want to provide your fans with some wins. You know, this will be their last games on their home court for a couple months after February. So it's important that you give your fans something to hope for when you go into tournament play.
Inside trying to work out is Blunt. She's missing the first shot out of the fourth quarter play. 20-point lead for the Eagles. Nisbet blocked from behind. Good second chance recovery from Newsom, able to get a hand on it.
And Nisbet thought she had a free layup right there, but Newsom comes from behind and gets the block. She's been very active today. She has 12 points on 4 of 5 shooting.
A heads-up play there and able to get the jump ball now with Ashanta clears. Or correction, possession will stay with Georgia Southern. First try unsuccessful, second try is good. Taryn Ward able to use the glass.
And that's 2 passes now where you easily get it into the paint for a layup. Luckily, the first one was missed for Coastal Carolina, but you can't do that a second time. Taryn Ward's going to make that.
After the missed first shot, Coastal Carolina able to get the miss. Driving in is Freeman, and she misses it. Southern with the rebound, but a travel will stop any forward progress.
Got to put the ball on the floor before you start running. Ward was excited there, had a leak out by Rachel Johnson, but got to put that ball on the floor.
Coastal number 23, Layla Buzz.
Shot from the short corner off the mark from Newsom. Stopping and keeping it in the corner is Bugs. Inside to Blunt. She'll drive her way in, and a kick out to Just Jean. Her short corner shot is good. Back and forth. Passing able to result in a bucket.
Just Jean, great shot right there. Averages 9 a game. Hasn't been able to get going as much here today, but that was a good mid-range jumper with 2 players contesting her shot.
Banks missing the short corner bucket. Instead, it'll be Eagles ball. Last touched by a member of the Chanticleers down low.
Number 20, checking in for Coastal, Janae.
Janae Camp will come back in, the grad student from Virginia, to man the down low spot. Eagles have not scored in a couple possessions. Inside to Ward. She is able to draw the foul. That is the first
Coastal
for
foul, number 2,
Coastal
Jordan
here in the
Newsom.
fourth quarter.
Her second, team first. Back in for Georgia Southern, 33.
Simone James will come back in as a look at the foul.
And Ward goes in for the step through, fouled by Newsom there. Ward has really had her way in the paint here today. She's played a very good game, and she has 25 points now, Jared. She could potentially have another 30-point game here today.
Of course, Emily Grace McCorder mentioned earlier in the first half, she had 32 last time out against App State on Thursday. And there is still plenty of time left in this game. They got 26 with the second free throw going in. And now here come the Chanticleers. It's Bugs off the screen from Camp. Over to Blunt. Deep threes missed. Rebounded by Richardson and stolen away by Southern. They have a 4-on-2 chance here. Nisbet drives into the baseline and scores. Tsubasa Nisbet with her senior day with 4 points. Retaliation 3 from Newsom connects.
Newsom has been able to respond, but I want to go back to that play by Nisbet because that was a beautiful step through right there. It looked like she was about to get stuck, but instead stepped through to the left side to put it up. That was a beautiful sequence by Tsubasa Nisbet.
Inside, scoring is Simone James, and the buckets are starting to flow here between both teams. Off-ball foul called against Lydia Freeman down low, something that we've seen increasing here, David, throughout the entirety of conference play. The possession down low for post players, you can't have your hands on the opposing player regardless. You have to play smarter on that play.
And that's something that, you know, the rules have kind of changed in. They want to give players more freedom of movement, especially inside. So you're seeing that a lot more fouls that you wouldn't really expect a couple years back.
Lydia Freeman able to get the steal. Spinorama from Holmes to get it past half court. Kick out to the corner. And now we'll have a traveling violation called against Simone James.
But, I mean, this offense is moving so freely. You can tell that the spacing on the floor by Georgia Southern, there's so much space that it's hard to guard up because as soon as you help on a drive, there's a wide open player in the corner for a three-pointer. So right now, really good coaching and really playing a game of chess, Coach Howard is, by moving the players around.
Shot is missed, the rebound and putback is good. Janae Camp with a chance to connect on a three-point play.
She can do that. She only averages 2 points a game, but she also averages 5 rebounds a game. She's somebody that's very tough in the paint, and when she gets to her spot, especially inside the restricted area, it's very tough to stop that.
Camp, 5 points on the afternoon. 3 of them coming via the free throw line. Make that 4, as she is now 4 for 5.
Postal number 11, Angie Just G.
Coastal will drop back into a full court press. James, back off to Gibson. Eagles able to break the press and get it past half court. Holmes, kick pass, corner 3, missed. And now here comes the shots in transition. Newsom, drop pass, and the score from Richardson.
It's a good play right there. Richardson understands that Newsom's driving to the hole. It's a 2-on-1 situation. She just flashes down and waits for the pass.
Gibson, a deep 2, fouled and 1, count the basket, and she'll have a chance to do a 3-point play.
Gibson lays on the floor there after the shot. You can tell this team is having fun. They're hitting their shots. They're moving the ball well. This is a really good sign because, again, you have 4 games. Oh, excuse me.
Correction, that foul will be called against Rachel Johnson. It was an offensive foul against Georgia Southern. That is their 3rd of this 4th quarter.
But, again, Gibson still hits that shot. And this team, you have 4 really tough games coming up. They're all away. They're not going to be easy games. So, although you're up by 20, you're probably going to win this game. It's important that these next 6 minutes, you play hard and you play with energy.
Answer back deep 2 from Newsom is good. Chanticleer's down but not out. Down by 18 here with 6 minutes to play. Inside to Johnson, and she'll draw a foul. An offensive foul, that is. The 4th for Southern.
Good job by Janae Camp. Eden Johnson takes a pound dribble, leans in right here, and that's just a good job. She was almost in the restricted area, but good awareness to step right outside of it and draw that charge.
Inside the spinorama, shot missed by Newsom. Again, another rebound for Gibson. Now a loose ball scrum between Freeman and Just Jean down low, and it'll be Coastal possession. You see there, Deja Holmes. No points on the day so far. She comes in averaging about 6 points per game, however.
And Holmes is a very talented scorer. She's a player that can score on all three levels, can hit the deep range shot, can hit the mid range, can also get a bucket inside. Had a quiet night. But again, this team has stepped up, and some players haven't had to carry as much of a load.
Shot there, missed by Blunt, rebounded by Johnson. Almost an ill-advised pass, and now a double dribble will be called against Deja Holmes. Good heads-up awareness there from Jada Williams, head coach for Coastal, saying, hey, she double dribbled. Let's get a turnover.
And Richardson, she has been very active on the defensive end. She's drawn 2 charges, gets a turnover right there. She is playing with such a sense of purpose, and I would expect a lot of minutes for her in these next games coming up. She's really played well. The ball's on the floor. She just corrals Holmes, and Holmes actually tries to hook her.
Turnover for the Chanticleers as we resume play here. 5:11 to go in the fourth quarter. Bounce pass to Johnson, almost out of her reach. Able to get it though. Love Hill, guarded by Richardson. Love Hill shot is missed, but she's fouled, and she'll go to the line following the media timeout. 78-60 to score here in the fourth quarter of play.
When you look at me, do you see a college student?
Quarter, a look at the upcoming schedule for Georgia Southern. We've talked about it, this being the last of a 5-game homestand for the Eagles. Following this, they will head to Troy and South Alabama, then wrap up the regular season down in Louisiana, taking on ULM and Louisiana. All of this, of course, leading up to tournament time in Pensacola with the Sun Belt Conference Championship on March 2nd through the 7th. 2 free throws coming up or 1 free throw, I beg your pardon, to the Janae Love Hill after the and 1 chance. Love Hill on the afternoon, 7 points with a chance to make it 8. Unable to do so. Second free throw for Love Hill. Also missed, and Love Hill coming into this game averaged 70% from the charity stripe, unable to make both free throws. Here's Buggs, over to Blunt. Sham step, able to drive in and make the layup. Good heads-up play there from Blunt to score. She now has 16 on the afternoon.
And that's a tough shot. She's really struggled here today, only 5 of 15 before that shot. So it's good to see her get a basket.
Johnson with a 2-pointer to extend the lead yet again, and an answer back shot from Newsom connects. It seems, David, whenever one team scores, another team saying, hey, what you can do, I can do better. Pass inside, a wide open Gibson uses the window.
And that pass right there, I mean, I looked at it and I thought Johnson was about to shoot it. Instead, finds the wide open Gibson. That was a really good read.
Both teams trading buckets in a timeout called by Coach.
You've gotten what you want. You've gotten good shots, and you've been able to score here recent, but it's about getting stops first because you can't keep trading baskets when you're down 16.
With that bucket scored by Jordan Newsom, that now eclipses a career high for her. Her previous best was 20 against Agnes Scott back in 2021, but now with 22 or 21 points, I beg your pardon, on the afternoon, she now has a career high. Eagles with possession, past half court. Almost a turnover for Holmes, and now we'll have a timeout called by Coach Howard. So we didn't get to talk about Georgia Southern's attack plan here up big in the fourth quarter. What is the conversation on that side of the ball?
Keep running. Coach Howard wants her team to play fast at all times. And let's get some stops, let's get some turnovers, and let's score.
Gus, the Eagles mascot, dancing on the floor, trying to keep these Hanner fans entertained. And there's been a lot of changes, David, throughout the course of this season for Hanner Fieldhouse. The inclusion of the nest, something that Coach Howard speaks so highly about. She said that she loves how the nest has been able to improve these home games for Georgia Southern. Not just the women's team, but the men's team as well. Holmes with a three-pointer. That's off the mark. Rebounded by Eden Johnson. The kick back out to James. Now finds Love Hill. Coastal will drop into a man defense. Love Hill trying to split it. Inside, this is James, able to use the glass and make it.
Can't give up the baseline. James saw an easy lane to the basket there and was able to put it up. And going back to the nest, when I asked Coach Howard, what are some of your favorite memories here at Hanner this season, she touched on the nest and how much it has impacted her team to really give some energy to this program.
Coastal number 12, Tyra Brown.
Off the turnover, Georgia Southern will take possession. Turnovers have been a struggling point for the Chanticleers, 22-13. The Chants leading that category. Love Hill closed off on the baseline. Ball almost stolen away, and now Coastal will take it past half court. This is Richardson stopping and starting. Kicks it over to Newsome. Her three. Got it. Jordan Newsome, 24 points. And we mentioned earlier her career high, and she is still building on it.
And we thought it would be Asia Blunt with most of the points here, but Jordan Newsome has had a heck of a game, hitting shots on every level of the court.
Newsome unable to keep the ball. Correction, Brown will be credited with the turnover. And a heads-up play there from Deja Holmes. Almost a street ball-esque play to keep possession in Georgia Southern's favor. For correction, note, it will be Coastal ball as an official deliberation will bring possession to Janae Camp on the sideline.
And Jared Taryn Ward back in this game. She is 4 points away from getting her second 30-point game.
Ball up to Richardson. Nearing under 2 minutes to play in this game. Foul called down low with Richardson driving in.
Eagle foul, Maya Burns, her third.
Third foul called against
Eagles' fifth team foul.
the Eagles. That is going to take them to 5 total fouls here in the fourth quarter.
A drive right there by Richardson, goes up with the left, able to draw the contact. Richardson has been another player that has really stepped up here today, along with obviously Jordan Newsome's career high here today.
Love Hill. Up to Ward. Long pass on the money to Burns. Back up to Ward, down to the corner. Some good passing here from Southern. And as I say that, a turnover and a collection of bodies. Still no whistle. We play on. 2 players down for both teams. And now a foul will be called down low. Ward and Richardson both still down on the floor.
And this is important here. Ward took a shot as well as Richardson. And Richardson gets the ball, and as Ward is running back, she actually trips over Richardson. They kind of get tangled up there on the play. We hope they're both all right.
Both players, regardless. 84-71, the score here in the fourth quarter of play. David Holvey alongside Jared Dink and Emily Grace McCorder courtside for a Sun Belt Conference season wrap-up here inside Hanner for Georgia Southern. Pink out and senior day, a game that has been all Georgia Southern from the opening tip. Tyra Brown missing the first free throw.
Brown 0 for 3 from the line today, and another foul called down low. It'll be Asia Blunt now to the line.
Jared, Coastal Carolina has slowly cut this lead to 13. I mean, this game was a 20-point lead by Georgia Southern. Coastal Carolina consistently chipping away, getting turnovers, playing aggressive basketball, and here you have a chance, you know, to hit these 2 free throws, to get it within 11, and this team is fighting.
That was something that we talked about during the halftime break, what the message was, and you said it yourself. Coach Williams' message during halftime, do not give up, keep fighting. And the Chanticleers have done exactly that. Blunt's first free throw is good, and for Blunt coming into this game, you said that she was having a quiet night. For her, a quiet night is exactly what she's had. 17 points following this free throw. She's averaging 18.5 points per game, and she will stay with 17 on the afternoon.
And that's a testament to how skilled she is. Averages 18 a game. But today it felt like she wasn't really able to get to her spots on the floor. It felt like Georgia Southern was forcing other players to really win this game.
Love Hill. Eagles trying to run some action as we near under 1:40 to play. Love Hill able to get around Blunt's defense. Inside, back outside go the Eagles. Shot clock down to 10. Gibson inside to Banks, and the pass was tipped away by Janae Camp. It'll stay Eagles ball with 5 on the shot clock.
Again, Eagles, Taryn Ward.
Taryn Ward will come back in after the scary fall that she had earlier, getting tangled up with Deasia Richardson.
And it's good to see her back on the court this early. Shows you that she's doing okay.
Ward with 3 on the shot clock, down to 2. Love Hill will have to shoot it. Shot it long, and that'll be a shot clock violation as the ball never touched the rim.
Love Hill made something out of nothing there. She was double teamed, used the pump fake to her advantage. Obviously didn't get the shot to go in or touch the rim, but it was still impressive for her to get that shot up.
Inside, trying to find Blunt, but instead a foul will be called. Eagles have been over the limit for the past couple minutes. And the Chanticleers, a team that coming into this game, able to make free throws. The game previously up in Atlanta that the Chanticleers were able to win, they went 30 for 36 from the charity stripe, so they are no stranger to shooting a lot of free throws. Today, however, 18 for 25, make that 19 for 26 as Blunt makes the first of her 2 free throws.
And if Blunt hits this, it is a 10-point game. This is really a testament to how Coastal Carolina plays basketball. They don't stop, they never give up, and they consistently bring pressure, and now you have a chance to get a stop.
Chance with a full court press. Johnson over to Love Hill as we near under 1 minute to play. Foul called against Coastal Carolina. Riley Simmons, the sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee, the guilty player. That's her second foul on the afternoon. Love Hill will be fouled. And again, 1 foul to go until the Eagles are in the bonus. It will be another out-of-bounds throw for Rachel Johnson. And you mentioned, David, the momentum swing for Coastal Carolina. They're on an 8-0 run in the last minute and 45 seconds. If you're able to get 2 misses here from the free throw line and be able to keep building, there's a chance to be able to chip this deficit down even more.
You can very easily make this a single-digit game. Coastal Carolina put Taryn Ward on the free throw line. She's very good at the free throw line. But, I mean, again, to cut into the lead the way they did, with the way Georgia Southern was playing, shows you how tough of a team Coastal Carolina is, and they're playing on the road right now.
As we mentioned earlier, following this game, the Chanticleers will head back home for a 3-game home series to wrap up the season. Shot is missed and rebounded by Southern. Love Hill will be fouled there on the play by Brown.
Coastal foul, number 12, Tyra Brown.
Tyra Brown, that is her first foul.
2 shots.
What a performance today from Taryn Ward and Jordan Newsom. 27 points for Ward, 24 points for Newsom. For Newsom, it's a career high, and for Ward, just trying to do what she can, putting her back all on the line for this team. Love Hill makes the free throw, extending the lead.
Senior, number 5,
It's now an 84-74 lead. Boston Nisbet coming back in with 42.4 to go. Newsom driving in, can't get it to fall, and the ball is now taken by Ward. Ward under 30 to play. Shot clock separated by about a second and a half, and now a foul charged against Blunt.
Jared, I think Ward is going for the 30-piece. Love Hill, an easy outlet pass there, and you saw Ward kind of smile when she was about to take that three-point jumper. You got to think that it's on her mind. Could be 1 point away from 30 if she hits both.
Ward missing the first shot. Her point total will stay at 27. Second one also missed. Now a chance for the Chanticleers. And a foul called, so it'll be Camp to the line with 19.5 to play.
Foul, Rachel Johnson, her fourth.
Fourth foul charge to Rachel Johnson. And for Johnson, she had a game, 29 minutes, 4 points, along with 2 assists and 2 rebounds. First shot is missed by Camp, who has had 7 rebounds and 6 points on 28 minutes of action. Her second free throw is good. Simmons coming back in for Blunt. Some give and go substitutions for Chanticleers. Ward up to Rachel Johnson. Three-pointer for Ward, got it! And there's another 30-point game for Taryn Ward. Back-to-back 30 pieces for the sophomore with 3.3 to go. It'll be Georgia Southern ball.
Right on cue, Jared. I had a feeling she was going for that 30-point performance.
90-75, Eagles win it in a wrap-up of their home schedule. What a performance from Taryn Ward. David, we knew